first, let's talk about Ben Carson real quick. And the theme of the show is going to be bait. We, as a people, have to do a better job and not always taking the bait when it's thrown out there. Okay. Now, what I mean by bait, nowadays, bait is anytime you fucking with social media or the media, period. People say these outlandish things, or they call them sound bites. People say things because they know in the social media world it's gonna take fire. One of the things nowadays to do is to say something about Pop, talk about Tupac in some kind of way, and I'm gonna get more into that a little bit later. But right now, I want to talk about Ben Carson because Ben Carson said something today that I think is bait. I look at it as bait.
Yeah.
Because I can't believe somebody can be that stupid.
Yeah.
This guy's a brain surgeon, heart surgeon, something like that.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Evidently, he's smart. He's no dummy, right?
No dummy.
Ben Carson said in the speech, and he just got approved to be Secretary of Housing, some field that he has nothing to do with. That he has, as far as I know, has no credentials to even be considered for that position. But anyway, right. We already know what that's about, so we're not even going to go there. At his speech today, he called slaves immigrants.
Yeah. And then said while they was on the bottom of the boat, they was thinking about their grandchildren and all the inheritance they were going to have. And absolutely not. They was thinking about how the hell to get back to where the fuck the boat picked them up from.
Come on, man.
He's so out of touch, man.
Nah, he's not.
This is
what I mean.
Or is it script?
This is what I'm talking about when I say bait.
Okay.
These people are not as dumb as they would want you to believe. Yeah. They are actually very smart, and they know what bait is, and they know how to get in the media cycle, in the news cycle. Sound bites. You say something that's outlandish, so out of this world that people latch onto it, and it starts a furor. It starts a wildfire.
Yeah.
Things go viral. Everybody's talking about you.
Yeah.
If you want attention, this is what you do.
Yeah.
So that's what leads me to my whole theme of the show, bait, and more importantly, Tupac and some of the things, inflammatory things that have been said about Pac. And just like the last week, it seemed like all this shit come out of nowhere. Pac stay on niggas' tongues, period. Anyway, let me just be honest. But last week was crazy. It was like 3 different things happened all in 1 week. And, I'm wondering, is it because of the movie? And, anytime something is said about Pac, first thing, or at least the second, people want to know what we got to say about it. What are we going to say about it? What's our opinion? And because I got this vehicle at Dash Radio XXL, shout out to DJ Ski, DJ Bass, for allowing me to come up here and use this vehicle to voice my opinion, because a lot of times, for whatever reason, the media don't reach out to us, or we don't really fuck with the media, whatever you want to call it. Our opinion is not always out there. And I'm not really a social media type of nigga. I'm not a Twitter nigga. I do Twitter and I do Instagram, but I don't do it in the effort. I'm not gonna be sparking no debates or having no arguments with niggas on social media. I ain't sending no threats. I don't do that. That's just not my style.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna never see that from me on social media. So when you get at me on social media and you say, yo, this is a fan, maybe, hypothetically. Yo, did you hear what such and such said about Pac? Man, what you got to say about that? And you don't see a response from me. It's because of a specific reason why I'm not doing that, because I'm from a different cloth and I don't do that.
Yeah.
I don't get down like that. I'm not going to be in your comments arguing with niggas. I'm not going to do none of that. In the effort, in the spirit of evolution, I try to spend most of my time on positivity, because I feel as though the things I did 20 years ago, it would be foolish of me to continue doing those things now 20 years later.
Yeah.
20 years ago, you couldn't say nothing about me and none of my niggas without it turning into a violent outcome eventually.
Bombs.
I mean, it's gonna go down. It's
going.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not even here to talk tough. I'm not a tough guy. I'm not a gangster. I'm not none of those things. You know what I'm saying? I'm a human being. I'm a man. I'm a father, son, brother. I'm all of those things. And I'm an artist, and you know, I'm all of that. That's what I am. I ain't here to put on no motherfucking disguise for niggas or none of that.
Yeah.
But certain shit you gotta speak on so people can know where you coming from and be clear. This is the one and only time I'ma speak on it. You wanna know my opinion, you gotta listen to the Dinner Club Dash Radio XXL every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. This is where I voice my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do it on social media. You might hear some of it in the music, you might not, but I'm not doing no interviews about the shit. You wanna know my opinion, you gotta come right here.
Yeah.
To the Dinner Club.
That's it.
Tune in.
Get that food.
Get that good food for you. So I got some good food for you because it was 3 things that happened last week. I don't know if you was hip because you was down in VA and you was dealing with, you know what I mean, some more serious shit. This shit right here is clown shit, really. It's really shit that shouldn't even be spent time on, but I'm going to spend a little bit of time right now during this show.
Right.
For our guests for the night pull up. I'm going to address the first one. First one, an artist by the name of Joey BadAss, who I think is very dope.
Yeah.
Brooklyn, New York. Yeah. Independent. Had offers from Rock Nation. And I'm sure a lot of other people on his way up. He was that hot, and he's still that hot. Chose to stay independent. I think we play that record sometimes. I can't remember the name.
I know I got some from him in here.
Power plays it sometimes. But regardless, Joey BadAss is dope in my opinion.
Okay.
Dope artist. He was doing an interview last week, and during the interview, the subject of Pac came up. I don't know who brought it up, the interview or him, but anyway. Joey BadAss is on record as saying Tupac is my favorite rapper, which is kind of a big deal because he's from Brooklyn.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So he's on record saying Pac is my favorite artist. He's sampled Pac in different kind of ways in his music in the past. He has respect for Pac.
Yeah.
Apparently. He said in the interview that if he battled Pac, he would beat Pac. He feels like he's a better rapper than Pac, and if he got into a battle with Pac, he would flame Pac, to quote him. He said, I would flame Pac. Started an uproar. You know, the Pac fans was all in their feelings. You know what I'm saying? The old head niggas, the 90s niggas was all in their feelings because anytime, you know, we got this little gender tension between newer artists and older artists and newer the newer fan base and the older fan base. So it started an uproar. Immediately my DM get to jumping. And it's funny. Allow me to say this. Anytime it's some negativity or some shit like that got to do with some bullshit, my DM get to jumping. My inbox get to jumping. My comments get to jumping. But positivity, let me put up a positive quote or let me tell them about something positive. It'd be like crickets.
Ain't checking.
It'd be like crickets. Like, nigga, we don't give a fuck about that shit. You trying to drop knowledge, nigga?
Yeah.
Niggas don't want to hear that shit. Niggas love the bullshit. Niggas love the fuckery. So that's why I call it bait. Anytime you say Pac name, like I said before, you're going to get some views, you're going to get some likes, you're going to get some kind of attention.
Yeah. Because
be clear, that guy there is the pinnacle.
Yes.
When it comes to this rap shit.
Very big deal.
It's a big deal.
Very big
Still
deal.
A big deal. 20 years later, still move units.
Man.
About to move movie tickets again.
June.
Feel me? So Joey BadAss said that. Y'all want to know my opinion on it? I feel like Joey BadAss is supposed to say that. I wasn't mad when I heard Joey BadAss say that. You know why? Because in the spirit of competition, this rap shit is like a sport. You supposed to always feel like you the best. You supposed to wake up feeling like you the best. In your everyday life, I don't care if you the trash man. I don't care if you getting coffee because you an intern.
Yeah.
Do that shit to the best of your ability and feel like you the best.
Yeah.
I love what Joey BadAss said. He's supposed to say that. Back in the days when we was all around each other and we was writing songs, we was competitive. We wanted to flame each other on our records.
Yeah.
I wanted to have the best verse on every record. I don't give a fuck if it was Pac, Snoop, Daz, Corrupt. I don't care who in the studio.
Got to, though.
I'm going in there like I'm going after niggas' heads,
Got
and
to.
it ain't even personal.
Got to.
That's how this rap shit goes. So for all you fans out there that really don't know how it goes, and they think every time somebody say something about Pac and it's feeling like they better than Pac, if you don't feel like they right, then you get at them and tell them that. Don't come in my DM and tell me, how can Joey BadAss say he better than Pac? He's supposed to say he better than Pac. I don't give a fuck about that.
Yeah, that's what makes hip-hop hip-hop,
That's
man.
what hip-hop is about, man.
It's the deaf poets on the corner, man.
Absolutely.
You got something to say, I got something to say. At the end of the day, the mob typically determines who they thought was the best, but ain't no best. Everybody should do their best. You the best.
Right.
He the best. I'm the best. We the best. Everybody was sound like
Khaled
Khaled all of a sudden. We the best, man.
Man.
We the best. Ain't none of that. And plus, he could never battle Pac. You know what I'm saying? It's over with for that.
Right. It's a fantasy. It's something that would never happen.
That's like
if
cats talking about LeBron better than Mike Jordan or some Kobe.
It'll never happen.
At least we got a little bit of Kobe and Mike, but that was Mike's later fourth quarter.
And we got a little bit of Kobe and LeBron. You know, that was
Kobe's
in the
fourth
third
quarter.
Third,
fourth.
quarter.
Yeah, it's not
so
fair.
It's not even a fair assessment. Just like people love to compare, you know, first of all, you don't compare dead artists to living artists. You know what I mean? Yeah. Another thing about Joey BadAss, your 20 years evolved from a 25-year-old Tupac in 1995. Yeah. You supposed to be better.
Yes.
If you ain't better than a nigga that was recording in the 90s and has been dead and gone for 20 years, then maybe this ain't the game for you.
Maybe this ain't the game for you.
You know what I mean? And
you should be better than Curtis Blow by now.
We standing on shoulders of giants. You supposed to be better. Run was better than Curtis Blow because Curtis Blow came before him.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Jay-Z was better than Big Daddy Kane because he came before Kane.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But, you know, at the end of the day, everybody is great in their own time spot. Whatever you get your 15 minutes, be the greatest at it. Be the best at it. Now, we're moving
best.
on. We the best. Be the best. We the best. You the best. You hear me?
Yes.
Now, moving on. We're going to talk about Funk Master Flex now.
Oh, God.
Funk Master Flex.
Oh, my God.
Funk Master Flex, once upon a time, was a very big deal in New York City. Very big deal. Ran New York radio, basically. If Funk Master Flex dropped a bomb on your record, you could basically say your shit was a hit and you was out of here. You know what I mean? His success ratio on that level was pretty fucking high.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Very rarely was a bomb dropped by Flex that wasn't, you know what I mean,
Heat. Yeah.
Deserved. Yeah. You know what I mean? Funk Master Flex, one of the first DJ to do albums. You know, paved the way for a guy like DJ Khaled to go out there and do albums. Go out there and get these records from top-notch artists that, you know, you basically did not create. Funk Master Flex kind of created that wave, kind of started that wave. That's, you know, that's how big he was, man. And I'm saying he was because his heyday has passed him, whether he believes it or not, whether he knows it or not, whether he even gives a fuck. His heyday has passed him. And that's why I'm going into where I'm going now, and I'm saying bait. Wake up one morning, people going crazy again in my DM. Yo, Funk Master Flex said Hit 'Em Up was trash. Said Hit 'Em Up was trash. Yo, y'all gonna let Funk Master Flex say Hit 'Em Up was trash? Now, flashback a couple of years prior.
This ain't the first.
At a show, Funk Master Flex had said something to the effect of fuck that nigga Tupac or fuck Tupac. Something like that.
Yeah, I remember.
And we did a record. We did a record called Warner Shots. We sent the Warner Shot. We said our little piece about it. Even then, I ain't feel like we had to. But we did.
Yeah, I remember that. This back in the Buck days, I think, that we was running around.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we sent the Warner Shot at Flex, you know, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Flex never responded.
Nope.
But Flex wasn't fucking with us out the gate anyway. It was times when we was in New York City, when we was on press runs, and you know what I mean? We was trying to run up there through Hot 97, and we got the emphatic nah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Nah. We got the emphatic nah. So we already know it wasn't really, you know, love there anyway. So for Flex to kind of say, you know, hit him up was trash, it's kind of like, you kind of expect that. You know, I never expected Funkmaster Flex to come out publicly at least and say, you know, hit him up was one of his faves.
Yeah, or any Pac record for that matter. At this point.
That part. But let's be clear. Overwhelmingly, on any poll that you can fucking scrape up and dig up for the past, 20? Hit 'em Up. If it's not the greatest diss record of all time, it's considered top 3 at least, overwhelmingly. And even if the publications don't rank it number 1, shout out to Complex. They recently did one and they ranked it as number 1. They obviously are smart people over there and know what they're doing.
Yeah, unbiased.
And unbiased, exactly. Most media is biased, especially if it's media coming out of New York City. It's somewhat biased to Pac and us. I'm just keeping it real. I'm just keeping it a band. You know what I'm saying? You know, Funkmaster Flex said what he said about it, and I'm gonna go more into it after Don Juan play this record. He itching for a scratch, so he gonna play a record real quick, and then we gonna come back and talk more about it. I'm gonna speak on the Wack 100 situation as well. Come on back, it's the Dinner Club, Dash Radio, XXL. It's your folks, EDI Don. So back to what we was talking about before we took a break. I was talking about Funkmaster Flex's comments about how he felt Hit 'Em Up was trash. Let me say this before I go any step further. I believe no man is above criticism. Anybody can be criticized, especially when we're talking about art. When we're talking about this music thing. And what you like, somebody else may not like. I'm sure Funkmaster Flex is not the only person that feels Hit 'Em Up was trashed. I'm sure it's a lot of people, actually, that probably didn't like that record for whatever reason. Whether you wasn't a Pac fan, whether you was a Biggie fan, whatever the case may be. And it all started, the conversation started because of Remy Ma's Sheet the record that she dropped last week. This record to Nicki Minaj. And that sparked a lot of debates about diss records, which one is the best. And that debate comes up periodically. Everybody has a side, everybody has a choice. Everybody has an opinion. Opinions are like assholes, as they say.
Well, everyone should have one.
Yeah, and everybody should have an opinion unless you're a fucking robot. You know what I mean? So I don't get mad when niggas have an opinion. Now, personal attacks is something else. I didn't like the fact that he said fuck Tupac. Even that in of itself is like, so fucking what? You know what I mean? Somebody say fuck you. Somebody say fuck your mama. When are we gonna grow the fuck up? That shit you supposed to be offended by when you a kid, when you in high school and shit. You know what I mean? Like, for real. Not to quote some old school shit, but sticks and stones, my nigga. Come on. Come on. Yeah. When are we gonna get above, you know, responding and taking the bait every time somebody say something? You know what I mean? Are we so blind by the social media shit that we don't see what's going on in Chicago, what's going on in Atlanta, what's still going on out here in LA? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
what's going on everywhere?
Come
There's
on,
real
man.
shit going on.
Somebody got to be the leader and evolve past the dumb shit and stop taking the bait every time somebody say something. Or if it is an opinion and you want to address that opinion, come on my show and let's talk about it, Flex. Or invite us to your show and let's debate why you feel like Hit 'Em Up was trash, and let's have an intelligent discussion about the shit.
Yeah, intelligence.
You know what I mean? Let's get Vlad to set up the interview and we can have a real debate, and we can have debates like Caucasian men do when they running for election, and they stand up there in suits and they say shit back and forth to each other, personal attacks sometimes.
Man.
But they do it in a quote unquote civilized manner.
Yeah.
Where it ain't always gotta be brought to the, yo, man, niggas need to run up on that nigga. Like, come on, my nigga.
Yeah. Shoot this nigga.
Come on.
Yo, smack the
Niggas
shit out
need to
this
shoot
nigga when
that
I see
nigga.
this.
I even get comments like that.
Right.
And even if it's in our favor, you know, because a nigga commented to me and he know who he is.
Ready to go ride.
Like, yo, when Flex come to Chicago, I'm smacking the shit out that nigga on my mama and I'ma videotape it and I'ma send it to you.
Outlaw.
I don't condone that shit.
Nah,
I'm not condoning that.
That's crazy.
Even for somebody like Flex, who I'm not a fan of. But I'm not condoning that, my nigga.
Because them same white folk, when they get done doing that behind the veil, they sipping something together. Because they understand
together.
it's a game. It's a game to them. Yeah,
They
it's not
understand
reality.
the game.
It's not reality.
Y'all the one that don't understand the game. Y'all get caught up and take the bait time after time. And we the ones that go to jail and do that time. We the ones that's going in the coffin. They the ones that's living until they 70 and 80 and leaving their whole empire to their children.
Yeah.
You the one that's dying in the street and you ain't leaving nobody shit.
But
pain.
Jordans.
You ain't leaving nobody but nothing but pain.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Be clear, as great as Pac was, as great as an artist as he was, as much as he did for the world with his art and how he inspired people, he died tragically and he didn't leave anything but pain to the people that loved him. The monetary shit and the physical shit, that's nothing.
Yeah.
That's nothing.
Yeah.
All of us would give it all back to have him back.
Yeah.
None of it means nothing.
I didn't see none of y'all bidding on the Beamer.
Come on.
I mean, like,
Hello?
what I need that Beamer for?
The fuck I need that for? I don't care nothing about
a mail
that.
ticket? Psh,
I don't care nothing about that. Anything that I've acquired in this music business, anything that I've gained in my life, from traveling to money to cars, jewelry, women, houses, whatever you can name, I have received it all in some form being in this game. I would give it all back to have him back.
Yeah.
For one day, even if he
brother.
had to leave after a day, I would give it all up just to have him back one day. And even after he left for that day, I couldn't have it back, I would be all right with that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Real talk. So
feel
none of
that.
that shit matters when you talking about the big scheme of things. None of what somebody says about you matters. Niggas love the clap back season. Yeah, clap back and it's all of that. But real clap back and somebody getting popped.
Yeah.
That's the real definition of clap back and not social media clap backing. I'm not finna clap back.
Trigger finger turn to Twitter finger.
You know what I'm saying? So that's my opinion on the Flex shit.
Yeah.
Last but not least, Wack 100, who is a manager for artists and different people. I don't really know who he manages specifically, and it's a lot of debate on that. But he had some comments about Tupac that a lot of people are still taking very personally. People that didn't even know Pac, but they love Pac and they love his music, take it very personally. So another day, I wake up and my
DM jumping. That's how you know when somebody talking. Bing, 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 bing.
Always. I'm about to shut down my DM and just stop responding to it because for the most part, it's some bullshit. But anyway, it's popping and it's saying, yo, Wack 100 said Pac wasn't no gangster. Pac died only having 120,000 and so on and so forth. I don't really know everything that he said, but those were the two main things that I remember. And people wanted to know what our opinion was about that. Now, Wack 100 is a guy that I met before, had a decent conversation with him. Didn't see no signs of no tension or nothing like that. Actually invited me to a party that I didn't go to. But other than that, that's probably my one and only interaction that I can remember. You know, he's telling people that he was around during the death row days and all of that. I don't remember that. You know what I'm saying? And I got a pretty good memory, even though I get high, and I've been getting high, you know, pretty regularly for 20 years. I don't remember him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that's neither here nor there. His opinion on Pac, and again, it's an opinion. Don't make it a fact. Y'all want to talk about facts? Let's talk about facts real quick. Pac never said he was a gangster. If you could bring me a record where Pac said he was a gangster on it, or an interview where he said he was a gangster, then you a bad motherfucker. And I got $100 for you. Real talk. Pac never said he was a gangster, but he did say he was a thug. He did say he was a lot of things. Gangster wasn't one of them because he didn't see himself as a gangster. Actually, he didn't like when people called his music gangster rap because he didn't feel like what he did was gangster rap. And if you listen to Pac's music, you know there is a difference. And maybe some similarities there, here and there between what Pac did and what people consider traditional gangster rap. But for the most part, Pac's music is different. And it was a whole nother lane that is really a lane that he created of his own. Being able to be revolutionary but gangster. To quote the homies from Dead Prez, they came up with that term, revolutionary but gangster. Pac kind of was the mold for that.
Yeah.
Where you could be conscious and still talk about street life, still talk about, you know, being a regular person, because we are all not one thing.
Yeah.
Nobody is walking around here a gangster 24/7.
No.
Nobody walking around here a thug 24/7. Nobody walking around here happy 24/7. Nobody walking around here sad 24/7. We are all things. We are human beings. Yeah. And if you're a human being that evolves and believes in growing and learning and reaching new heights, that's what you're supposed to be. You know what I mean? The 25-year-old Pac, if he had a chance to live, would not have been the same at 35 or at 45. You know what I mean? And if you are in your life right now listening to me and you doing the same exact shit you did at 20 and you 40, then you an idiot. So Pac wasn't just one thing. You know what I mean? Pac came from a political background, a grassroots, agenda first background. Some cats start in the hood, in the ghetto, at the very bottom, at the pits, and they got to do what they got to do to survive. Pac's life had a little bit of all of that, and you'll definitely get to see that June 16th, 2017, because the movie is coming. That's another fact.
Yes. The
movie is coming. The trailer's playing. Facts. We're going to talk about facts. Pac might have died with only 125,000, and then that's crazy when we say only 125,000. How many 25-year-olds walking around with 125K?
In the 90s, though.
Liquid, in the 90s. Now, but in 2017.
Yeah, the business different back then.
Come on now. And even rappers, how many rappers have 125,000 right now? You'd be surprised to find out that it's very few.
Yeah.
Very few.
Yeah. All these 360 deals got a lot of hands in them.
Even the big rappers, they may have money coming, they may be worth this, they may have cars, houses, but 125K cash, you'd be surprised very few have that. Trust me. Trust me. Niggas that's on your TV and your radio every day right now. I bet you it's one or two of them that don't got 125K right now. But that don't mean they ain't gonna get that.
Yeah.
Which leads to my point. Pac had dropped All Eyes on Me. He had just put out Machiavelli, or he was about to put out Machiavelli when he passed. He ain't even get a royalty payment yet. So to have 125K and be owed, maybe it's not a stretch to say 4 to 5 million in royalties.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was going to be a millionaire overnight if there is such a thing.
Yeah.
As soon as he got his first check. You know what I mean? And that's after Death Row got theirs back and Interscope got theirs back and the bail money was paid back. He was going to walk away with a few million just in the first set of royalties.
Yeah.
Understand, music is perpetual. You get paid forever so long as it's getting sold.
Played, yeah.
All Eyes on Me is a diamond album. Pac was already platinum by the time he got Death Row. Already considered a star, one of the brightest young black stars in Hollywood at the time of his death. So Death Row didn't make Pac. Pac ain't make Death Row.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They made each other better for the short time that they was together and did some historical things.
That's true.
The run should have lasted longer. It should have, would have, could have, all of that. Who the fuck cares what could have happened? It didn't. It ended the way it did. So people that love to sit around and talk about 20-year-old shit, they amuse me. You know what I mean? It's 2017, man. Join the rest of us in this shit. We not in 96 no more. 96 is long gone. Me personally, I'm not in 96 no more. My conversation don't revolve around back then and remember when we did this. I'm a nigga that lives in the moment right now, 2017. This is what it's about right now. And it's cool to take a trip down memory lane every now and then. But we ain't living in the past, man. We don't care about that. People that talk about the past a lot don't got no future. And they don't really see a future for themselves. So they want to talk about the glory days and all of that, man. My best days are ahead of me. 96 in that time period, that was a great time for me. But them ain't my best days, man. My best days is ahead of me. So you don't hear me talking about the past a lot.
As
you know what I mean?
Yeah. You should always be getting better. And that's the problem when you take a young black life like that, black, white, whatever. When you cut a tree down too soon, you never know how much fruit it was really going to give up. So
Amen.
Talking that talk like that about, oh, that tree only produced 10 apples. Man, you cut the junk down for it was even 3 feet tall. It shouldn't even been giving apples that early. Like the junk was doing miraculous numbers and it wasn't even have roots yet. So,
Talk about it.
It is what it is, man. 25 in the 90s. I know a lot of dudes 40 and 50 years old right now, been rapping 20 years, can't even pay their car note. So it's not a guarantee in this business that you're going to actually have that much financial stability to actually look at on a receipt of paper. But the living, the influence, the power, just the opportunity to be out there infecting people's lives in a positive angle is what we should be measuring as far as the worth and the value of what Pac was, not how much money was in his bank account. Because, my dad, people believe that my dad had, I don't know why they believe that he had so much money. I guess it was just his energy or some of the way he carried himself, but he didn't leave us with no debt.
He must have carried himself royally.
Yeah, he carried himself royally. He didn't leave us with no debt. He dropped jewels everywhere he went. You know what I'm saying? And my mom ain't hurting. But, it's on me now to make sure that she ain't never got a need or want for nothing else. So I'm not about to measure my dad's significance based off of what he had in his bank account the moment he left the earth. That's retardedly stupid. That's almost slick disrespectful to think that a human life should be measured by a bank balance.
It is.
I must be not worth shit.
And it really shows the level. it really shows the level of where some people are.
Yeah, some people just see money, man. Money determines what you are. That's foul. You can't take it with you. The Egyptians tried. You know what I mean? There was nothing in my dad's hearse but the suit that he was wearing and the flag laying over that joint because he was a military veteran, man. There was no hearse behind that joint with the rings and the chains and the Cadillac or none of that, man. It was just
he left it all on the table.
So it's like, how do I measure him based off of a bank balance?
Nah.
What?
That's not what we're gonna do. Because you know why? We intelligent and we have evolved from a place where, we gonna place value on what you have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. That's not what it's about. And that's not, you never gonna see me promote that. You never gonna see me salute that or applaud that. I applaud success, but true success.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I know a lot of miserable millionaires.
Man, my mom say it all the time. She be like, see them people with all that money and they miserable. Robin Williams was a perfect example. I'm all about from this.
Let's go with Michael and Prince.
Anybody.
Let's go with a lot of people, man. We already know money don't equal happiness. At least I hope so.
At least I hope so. But for the ones that don't, man, it does not. And life should be about making memories because that's all that you have once you leave. That's all you leave with people is those memories.
And making memories and helping out. Yeah. Helping out where you can.
Good memories.
And leaving a positive, vibe on people when you come into the contact and not always some negative energy. Like I said, in the spirit of evolution, I'm only speaking about this right now one time and one time only. So whenever you want to know my opinion, go back to this interview, soundcloud.com/O4L Digital. That's where you can always see old shows or hear old shows of the Dinner Club. Y'all want to know my opinion, and I'm speaking for me. I don't speak for Young Noble. I don't speak for none of the Outlawz, the movie Outlawz or the real Outlawz, whatever. I don't speak for nobody but myself right now, and my opinion is that of mine. So if you got a problem with anything said on this show right now, address me with it. But that's my opinion on those three subjects: Joey BadAss, Funkmaster Flex, and Wack 100. And be clear,
I missed a lot, yo.
Yeah, it was a heavy week. It was a heavy week for my bro. My bro's supposed to be resting, and his name is constantly be drawn up and pulled up in all kind of different ways. But it ain't no secret. The name of the movie is All Eyes on Me because all eyes is still on him. That's how bright that light was. Whether you hate it or love it, it's so omnipresent they can't let it go. Whether you love it or hate it, you can't let it go. That's something. Even the haters gonna buy a ticket to this movie.